One more numerical sums. We'll see that an object 4 centimeter in size is placed at 25 centimeter in front of a concave mirror of focal length 15 centimeter. At what distance from the mirror should a screen be placed in order to obtain a sharp image? Find the nature and the size of the image. The given values here are height of the object is given, that is 4 centimeter. Object distance 25 centimeter, focal length 15 centimeter. We have to find it out. Image distance and height of the image. With the help of the mirror formula, 1 by V plus 1 by U equal to 1 by F. 1 by V equal to 1 by F minus 1 by U. Put the values of focal length and object distance. 1 by V equal to 1 by minus 15 minus 1 by minus 25. 1 by V equal to minus 1 by 15 plus 1 by 25. That's equal to 1 by B equal to minus 5 plus 3 divided by 75. 75 is the LCM. We get the value of B equal to minus 37.5 centimeter. The screen should be placed at 37.5 centimeter from the mirror. The image is real. Now with the help of the magnification formula, M is equal to HI divided by HO equal to minus V by U. HI equal to minus in the bracket minus 37.5 into 4 divided by minus 25. We get the value of height of the image equal to minus 6 centimeter. The image is inverted and enlarged. Next topic we will discuss about the refraction of light. When the light rays either bend or change their direction while passing from one medium to another, it is called refraction of light. The refraction takes place when light enters from air to water. With the help of a diagram, we can understand that the incident ray passes to the other side of the medium, that is the refracted ray is formed. Incident ray and refracted ray. The angle formed between incident ray and normal is angle I, and between normal and refracted ray is angle of refraction, that is angle R. The speed of light is different in different substances. The refraction of light is due to the change in the speed of light on going from one medium to another medium, that is its speed changes. Next topic we will study discuss about the medium. They are divided into two types of medium. One is optical rare medium and optical denser medium. A transparent substance in which light travels is known as a medium. Medium can be divided into two types: optical rare medium and optical denser medium. Optical rare medium is a medium in which the speed of light is more, whereas optical denser medium is a medium in which the speed of light is less. Next topic we will discuss about rules of refraction. There are two rules of refraction. First rule: when a light ray travels from a rarer medium to a denser medium, the light ray bends towards the normal. Second rule, when a light ray travels from a denser medium to a rarer medium, the light ray bends away from the normal. With the help of the diagram, the two rules can be discussed. First diagram you see, the incident ray coming contact with the point of incident and it passes to the other medium. One of the medium, two mediums are there, one is rarer medium and another one is denser medium. We can see that the reflected ray is bending towards the normal. And in the other diagram, when the ray of light passes from denser medium to the rarer medium, the reflected ray is away from the normal. Next topic, we'll discuss about the refraction through a rectangular glass slab. With the help of the diagram, we can discuss about the refraction of light in a rectangular glass slab. On passing through a rectangular glass slab, a ray of light suffers two refraction. One while going from air to glass and other while going from glass to air. Light emerges from rectangular glass slab in a direction parallel to that in which it enters the glass slab. However, the final emergent ray is slightly shifted sidewise from the direction of the original incident ray by a distance x called lateral shift. The perpendicular distance between the original path of the incident ray and the emergent ray coming out of the glass slab is called lateral displacement of the emergent ray of light. Lateral displacement depends mainly on three factors: angle of incidence, thickness of glass slab and refractive index of glass slab. Actually, lateral displacement is directly proportional to angle of incidence, thickness of glass slab, refractive index of glass slab. Higher the values of these factors, greater will be the lateral displacement. The angle which the emergent ray makes with the normal is called the angle of emergence. This experiment shows that refraction of light occurs according to certain laws. With the help of the diagram, incident ray refracted from one medium to the other medium. One of the medium is air, another medium is glass, and their refracted ray again it comes out from the glass slab, from the glass medium to the air medium. It bends away from the normal. Next topic is laws of refraction. There are two laws of refraction. First law states that the incident ray, the refracted ray and the normal to the interface of two transparent media at the point of incidence all lie in the same plane. Second law states that the ratio of sine of angle of incidence to the sine of angle of refraction is a constant for the light of a given color and for the given pair of media. This law is also known as Snell's law of refraction. If I is the angle of incidence and R is the angle of refraction, then sin I by sin R equal to constant. This constant value is called the refractive index of the second medium with respect to the first medium. Next topic we will discuss about the refractive index, that is the constant term. The refractive index of a medium is defined as the ratio of the speed of light in vacuum to the speed of light in the medium. It is represented by small letter n. Refractive index of a medium, that is representing with small letter n, equal to speed of light in vacuum or air by speed of light in medium. We can represent the formula as n equal to c by v. Next topic will discuss about the refraction by spherical lenses. There are two types of lenses are there, that is convex lens and concave lens. A lens in which any transparent material of an appropriate shape that can take parallel rays of incident light and either converts the rays to a point or diverts the rays from a point. A transparent medium or material bound by two surfaces of which one or both surfaces are spherical forms a lens. Some lenses with focus light rays to a single point. These lenses are called converging or concave lenses. Other lenses spread out the light rays so that is it looked like they all come from the same point. These lenses are called diverging or convex lens. Lenses are used in eye glasses, cameras, telescopes and microscopes. Now we will see the two types of lenses. Convex lens. A lens may have two spherical surfaces bulging outwards. Such a lens is called a double convex lens. It is simply called convex lens. It is thicker at the middle as compared to the edges. Convex lens converges light rays. Hence, it is called converging rays or converging lens. Next, concave lens. A double concave lens is bounded by two spherical surfaces curved inward. It is thicker at the edges than at the middle. Such lenses diverge light rays and are called diverging lenses. A double concave lens is simply called concave lenses. Next topic we will discuss about the terms related to spherical lenses. First term we use that is principal axis. Principal axis is the line which runs horizontally straight through the optical center of the lens. Next is optical center. The optical center, that is O representing, of a convex lens is usually the center point of the lens. Center of curvature. A lens has two spherical surfaces. Each of these surfaces forms a part of a sphere. The centers of these spheres are called center of curvature of the lens. The center of curvature of a lens is usually represented by the letter capital C. Since there are two centers of curvature. We may represent them as C1 and C2. Aperture, the effective diameter of the circular outline of the spherical lens is called its aperture. Next is focus. The focus or focal point of the lens is the position on the principal axis where all light rays that run parallel to the principal axis through the lens converge at a point. Since light can pass through the lens either from right to left or left to right, there is a focal point on each side of the lens which represents as f1 and f2 at the same distance from the optical center in each direction. Next is focal length. The focal length is the distance between the optical center and the focal point, that is, or we can say as focus. With the help of the diagram, there is a convex lens. O is representing the optical center. This is the focus. Twice f1 can be also said as C1, that is center of curvature. In both the sides, center of curvature are there, so we represent with C1 and C2. Here in the concave lens also the similar way, optical center is the aperture, f1, twice f1. Next topic we will discuss about the ray diagrams of image formed by convex lens. First, image formation by a convex lens when object is at infinity. First ray of light parallel to the principal axis cuts at f2. Second ray of light also parallel to the principal axis and cuts at f2. Position of the image which is formed is at f2. Size is highly diminished, nature real and inverted. Next one, when object is placed between f1 and twice f1. Object is placed between them. When first ray of light parallel to principal axis cuts at f2. Second ray of light cuts the optical center and intersect at a point where the image is formed. Position of the image is beyond twice f2. Size of the image is enlarged, nature real and inverted. Next topic, we will discuss about the ray diagrams of images formed by a concave lens. First, when object is placed at infinity. Similar way, first ray of light parallel to principal axis and divert it. Second ray of light that also parallel to principal axis and divert. But the image is formed at f1. Size of the image is highly diminished. Nature of the image is virtual and erect. Next diagram, when object is placed between infinity and optical center. Similar way, first ray of light parallel to principal axis and divert to the other side. Second ray of light intersect at a point O, that is optical center, and produces a image in between f1 and optical center. Size of the image is diminished and nature is virtual and erect. Next topic, we will discuss about the lens formula. 1 by f equal to 1 by v minus 1 by u. For the formula for magnification, height of the image by height of the object equal to v by u. With the help of the lens formula, we will see one example that is in the book, example number 10.3. A concave lens has focal length of 15 centimeter. At what distance should the object form the lens be placed so that it forms an image at 10 centimeter from the lens? Also, find the magnification produced by the lens. Here the value which you are given here, image distance is given, that is V is equal to minus 10, focal length is given minus 15 centimeter. We have to find it out the object distance. With the lens formula, 1 by f is equal to 1 by v minus 1 by u. We put the values, 1 by u equal to 1 by minus 10 minus 1 by minus 15. 1 by u equal to minus 3 plus 2 with the LCM as denominator as 30. Therefore, the value for u is equal to minus 30 centimeter. Now, with the formula of magnification, m is equal to v by u. That is equal to minus 10 by minus 30. It comes 1 by 3 and the value for magnification is 0.33. Next topic, we will discuss about the power of a lens. Power of a lens is defined as the reciprocal of its focal length. It is represented by the letter P. The power of a lens of focal length f is given by P equal to 1 by f. The SI unit of power of a lens is diopter. It is denoted by the letter D. If f is expressed in meter, then power is expressed as diopters. Thus, 1 diopter is the power of a lens whose focal length is 1 meter. The power of convex lens is positive and that of concave lens is negative. Many optical instruments consist of a number of lenses. They are combined to increase the magnification, sharpness of the image. The net power of the lenses placed in contact is given by the algebraic sum of the individual powers, that is P1, P2, P3, many are there. So when we combine them, we used to write as P equal to P1 plus P2 plus P3. So dear students, thank you and have a nice day.